Today is episode number 12. We have been doing this for the past 11 weeks, and today is the 12th week that we are coming together just to talk about soul care. If you're new here, pleased to meet you. My name is Claire. I have the privilege of being the founder of this channel, and for the last 11 weeks, we have been looking at various aspects of soul care, and today is not a different day. We are going to delve directly or straight on into the next thing where we will be focusing today on sacred spaces. Have you ever thought of like how the space that you live in or you do life in does really matter a lot, right? Some of us, we work in places and spaces and live in places and spaces that are really full of clutter, that are really, the ambience is not right, okay? And if you really want to enjoy that soul care or to look after your soul, sometimes the ambience or the atmosphere that you create for yourself really does matter. The atmosphere that you create for your spiritual man, for example, does also matter. Does the condition of your home or condition of your workplace or your car or wherever that you always spend most of your time in, is it a place where encourages you to be there for a long time? Is your home a place where it invites you to come in? Is your home a place where when you're home you feel like, oh my world, I don't want to live here? Sometimes when I do stay home, maybe I'm on a day off or something, I can really just start and say, well, today I don't feel like doing much. And then I'm just deciding like today I'm going to be chilling out. And then when I start looking at around my house, I've got a 7-year-old that sometimes can't really be interesting in terms of the things that he does around the house. And when I decide and I say to myself, I'm just going to leave my house today so that I can be busy, do whatever that I need to do, I normally don't really feel okay until I'm like, I need to move this thing. I need to move the other one. I need to do the other thing. I need to do the other thing. Once I've managed to do that, then I feel like, oh, this feels much more different. And I will sit down to start doing some work, or I sit down to start doing whatever that I need to do. If I want to pray as well, the atmosphere and the environment in which I'm sitting down and thinking and praying does really matter a lot. And hence today, that's why on our soul care episode, I like just to encourage us or to challenge us about having those sacred spaces that where you know very well is a place where you can go for your soul care, is a place where you can go to be rejuvenated, but also in a place that just gives you that ambience. It gives you that environment to think like, wow, I want to come back to this place. I know people that usually say when they wake up in the morning, they go to their kitchen and then they will light the candle. I know some people that decide and say, well, we'll do this or the other just to make the ambience of their houses inviting for them to live in. I don't know how your house look like. I don't know. And I can see lots of you online today. Good evening. Good to see you. Depending on where you're watching us from, I hope it's evening or morning or afternoon, whichever it is, hope you're doing well. As I was saying, today we are focusing on high hygiene. We're focusing on ambience, right? As I was saying, the environment where you live in, or the environment where you work, or the environment where you do life, is it an environment which is welcoming? Is it an environment which is inviting, right? When you come back from home, for some of us who work, do you feel like I'm going into another jungle? Or do you feel like, I want to go back home? Because you're feeling your home is so inviting. Your home is, and it's not a matter of having a big house. No, I'm not suggesting anything like that. It's not a matter of having a mansion. No, it's not. You can have the most smallest. You can have the most simplistic life around you, but it's just when you have stuff, some of us have stuff more than we need, right? And it just gets to a point where the more you have, the more it becomes difficult to be able to manage it around. And somebody's asking me, where are you from? I'll come back and talk about that in a minute. Hi, I can see you, HPV. And so the more stuff you have around, so the more you get to a point where you become a hoarder, right? COVID taught us so much. I remember during COVID going even just to buy a simple tissue, and I couldn't find, because everybody was holding. They were thinking like it's not gonna be enough. It's not gonna be enough, right? And sometimes if you have this poverty mentality, or you have that kind of attitude, I'm never gonna have enough. You can hold on to stuff, and when you're holding on to stuff, if you have this amount of, let's say, square meter of a house, and you have so much stuff, right? Are you going to make more room to have more stuff, or are you going to maybe try just to get rid of some of this stuff so that you have a little bit of organization around you? If you have a bit of organization, it just makes your spiritual atmosphere, or as I said, your sacred space, much more inviting. And again, as I'm saying this, I'm not saying that you have to have the most amazing, incredible, huge spaces. No, it can be really a simple, small one room. But the way you look after your room, the way you care after that room, the way you cleaning your space, right? You're aerating the space. You are ensuring that the space is so inviting. I said you can use sometimes some candles just to kind of change the atmosphere, right? The lighting of your room, how does it look like? Do you have these really bright lights that is like, oh my world, when you come into the room? Or do you have those lights, if it's a bedroom, do you have like those dim lights for sleeping? Or if it's something like I love that. Or if it's something that you end up in the end saying to yourself, like you come to your room and it feels maybe too much heating, maybe too little heating, wherever that it is, it can actually impact you, and it can actually impact your soul, because sometimes even we end up feeling like, I don't like my house, I don't like my environment, I don't like the things that are around me, and it's all can be impacted or changed by just making some small or slight shifts, right? One of the shifts could be, as I said, ensuring you have proper lighting around your house. 2, decluttering. If you have stuff that you don't need it. If you have clothes that you haven't worn, let's say more than 6 months, chances are you're not going to wear them in 6 months, right? So if you haven't worn them in 6 months, what are you doing with them? Maybe declutter them. There are some places where you can go, and you can, even if you don't want to give them out for free, you can sell them as a second hand. You can vintage it, you can sell it on eBay, make a little bit more money from it, right? Sometimes if you're feeling like, oh, it cost me so much to buy this, I don't want to get rid of it, well, why not? It's more blessed to give than to receive. Hi, Pretoria, I can see you. It's more blessed to give than to receive. So you can actually decide and just say, you know what, instead of having this clutter around my environment, around my house, around my everything, let me just let go of these things. Check things that you have around your house. Like maybe some of us still have containers that we finished using so many years ago, and they're still just around the house, right? They're not serving us the purpose. Anything that is not serving you the purpose around the space that you have around you, maybe it's a high time, as we're going into December, we're going to the end of the year, to say, you know what, I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to get rid of clutter. I'm going to get rid of excess baggage so that I can travel light, right? Some of us are really loaded. We're traveling, but the world we feels like we are traveling with the whole world and burden around us. But we can travel light, make sacred spaces where we can let our souls rest and enjoy the solace of our homes, enjoy the solace of our cars, of our offices, wherever it is. So today, go around, check for those things that you don't need. Check for those papers, clutter, wherever it is that you don't need, and just be ruthless about it. Decide and say, it's not serving me the purpose. I'm gonna let go of it, and just try to organize the environment around you. Try to organize your room. And if you're already organized, well done. You can do more than that. You can still continue to do it, so that at the end of the day, we're coming to Christmas season. And I was talking to someone the other day, and they were telling me, oh, we already started shopping for Christmas and all this kind of things. When you're going to be shopping, don't go overboard, right? You can end up in January. Another friend of mine that she was telling me, and Pretorian says very true. She spent £5,000 buying stuff for people for Christmas. And then at the end of the day, we're going to keep all that stuff, right? And then when it comes to January, you don't have enough money to continue doing all the other things because of stuff, right? So this time I'm challenging myself and challenging you guys to say, let's be a little bit more prudent. Let's look a little bit around us and anything that we have that we don't need. And also one other thing that can help us to be able to have minimal stuff is buy what you need. If you don't need an extra pair of shoes, don't buy it. Don't be like me and just get it because you want to get it, right? If you don't need an extra tub of oil, you don't need it, right? Even if it's on sale, Black Friday is around the corner. If you don't need to buy that dress, like me, you don't need to buy it, right? So let us just try to be people that decide and say, we're going to have those sacred spaces. We're going to have those amazing places around so that at the end of the day, organize the things that we have around us. I'm not saying you have an organized mess, but I'm saying let's try to sometimes even just owning few things, or less is more, right? You can still live a decent life, enjoy yourself with the little that you have. So before I disappear, I'm just going to take a little bit more moment. I can see some of you live, just to give a bit of shout outs. So there's somebody who's asking, what are you talking about? I was talking about soul care. Today is usually my soul care Wednesdays. And today we're talking about basically creating sacred spaces. And we're talking about decluttering our spaces, ensuring that we have less rather than owning more than we need, because less is more. Having a space that is inviting, the ambience around our homes, the atmosphere that is amazing, that will invite us to come home, rather than you coming and you're like, note again, you're meeting with your socks in the front of your room, in the front door, you're meeting with the other thing, just having things around you organized so that you're creating that atmosphere, you're creating that that space that will allow you to be able to enjoy yourself. Because at the end of the day, right, even if you're going to exercise and you're going to do all the stuff that you need, I usually say you can drink your water, you can eat your food, but if you're not well enough in your soul, you're not well enough at all. And some of these things you're talking about, there are things that are already help us at the end of the day to be able to continue to have a good life, to continue to be able to see so much in terms of our soul care, to see so much in terms of our enrichment of our lives. And so I'm calling us today, encouraging us, challenging us, saying, hey guys, we are coming to December. We are coming to January, not so much from now. We'll get to the point where we decide and say, you know what? Maybe going into 2025, I'm going to go into the new year with less stuff, into the new year with ensuring the atmosphere around my home is amazing. The atmosphere around my home is inviting so that you can enjoy yourself and have a great well-being and welfare. I'm just gonna see if there are any chats from you guys. As I say, giving out some shout outs before I disappear. So I've already said good evening to you, Pretorian. I've already mentioned to you football, what I'm talking about. There is, if the viewers comment, Luca, well, sometimes it doesn't make so much. How do you say? You don't really have to have conditions. Conditions are difficult sometimes, but I appreciate your gesture and really appreciate so much. So guys, if you are watching live with us, why not just drop it in the chat? Let us know where you're watching from. Let us know if you've been here from the beginning. What did you pick away from today's charts and the whole story about the environment or the spiritual or sacred spaces around our homes? And if there's if there's nothing else to talk about or no comments, then I will bring this to an end because I have to go, I'm afraid, and then I'll come back again next Wednesday when we get to episode 13 and I have some new things cooking for you guys. Right? Awesome. I will disappear. Lovely seeing you, all of you guys. Take care. God bless you. Know that you're loved, celebrated, and appreciated. I pray you have a great evening. Thank you all for your comments. Thank you all for your joining in. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the subscriptions. Thank you for everything. God bless you. Know that you're loved, as I said, celebrated, and appreciated. I will see you again soon. Have a fantastic week. Until next week, take care. God bless, and take good care of yourself, and prepare some good ambience for your homes. Ensure that you have those inviting spaces, sacred spaces for your well-being and your wellness.